Americans are so broke and they desperately try to justify their brokenness. I always get Americans tell me, but the people in Mexico, they only make $20 a day. You make $25 an hour and you're still broke.
Hey, yo, government! Can I have my fucking life back? I can barely afford Christmas this year. I'm making the most money per hour I've ever made since starting my career. And thanks to corporate greed and the highest cost of living that anybody's ever seen. And the bullshit taxation! I'm broker than I've ever been. I don't pay for luxuries. I get generic everything. Generic laundry soap, generic body wash, generic food. And now I almost can't even afford generic anything. People are saying that taxation is a scam. It's not a scam, it's extortion. Give me the money that we think that you owe me, and if you don't, I'm putting you in fucking jail. But first, we're gonna levy anything that you already own, even though you already paid taxes on it, with money that you earned that was taxed.
So Donald Trump and MAGA have put a damper on Christmas for so many Americans. I would be remiss if I didn't try to help people understand that when they budget for Christmas presents this year, they've really got to have an understanding of how prices have gone up under the Trump tariffs. If you're ready, I'm going to go for it. Clothing, 36 to 40%. Shoes, 20 to 40%. Toys, 17 to 26%. Video game consoles, 20 to 27%. Kitchen appliances, 15 to 17%. Hardware and tools, 10 to 25%. Sporting equipment, 9 to 14%. Camping equipment, 20 to 25%. Hunting and fishing gear, 25 to 50%. Cosmetics, 15 to 18%. Those are just your basic categories of gifts we tend to purchase for our family members, but you can look at it another way. If you walk into a Walmart store today, December of 2025, compared to December of 2024, every single item has gone up, anywhere from 2.7% to 51%, depending on what you're buying. And this includes groceries. How about Target? 6.5%, all the way up to 43%, depending on what you're buying. Now, you could be like me. You gave up buying presents a while ago and you just want to take your family somewhere and create memories for Christmas. Keep this in mind. The average restaurant tab has gone up 4 to 7% since Trump took office. Hotels have climbed 4.1%. Theme park tickets, 9%. Rental cars, over 25%. Airline tickets, 4.2%. Now you could be sitting back saying, you know what? I'm just going to go buy myself a Christmas tree, put old decorations on it, sit by the fire and watch Hallmark movies and not spend any more money than that. But unfortunately, artificial Christmas trees have gone up 30%. There's one thing that hasn't: real trees, real Christmas trees. So that's always an option. I want to leave it on a good note though. There's something we can do to lift our spirits. We can watch all the video footage and view all the photographs of all the Christmas parties that are going to be going on at Mar-a-Lago with all the billionaires and all the millionaire Trump donors. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars a plate, all the expensive entertainment, Donald Trump in so many of the photos. And through osmosis, we can enjoy living like we have money. Next year, in December, it'll be a whole lot better because there'll probably be a whole nother 1 million or more people laid off, added to the million already laid off by this time this year. But they'll be celebrating in the very expensive ballroom. And again, we could just sit back and look up like Hunger Games style and just be in awe of the rich and how they got rich off of all the MAGA tax breaks and all the corrupt insider trading and all those tariffs. Merry Tariffy Christmas.
65% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 65% of Americans do not even have $1,000 for an emergency fund. More than that are 2 paychecks away from homelessness. The states struggling right now the most, the people in the states, the top two are both red states. Number one is Texas. The people there are struggling financially. The second state is Florida, another red state. The people are struggling. What do you think is going to happen when they lose their job in a couple weeks? They can't afford groceries. They can't pay their car payment. They can't pay their light bill. They're going to be up in arms. You and I know, because we're smart, know that it's going to be the regular average Joe that is going to be screaming in the streets, screaming because of our government. Just remember, Republicans.
All right, let's be honest. It's becoming hard to ignore the cries of Americans. Americans have been decrying the state of the economy for about some good months now. And what we are about to see, or what we are seeing in these videos, in these photos, are not just about one single, isolated cases, but it is many Americans from many different places saying the very same thing over and over, that they are broke, they are drowning in debt, and they are basically exhausted. And basically what is making this worse is the timing. This is happening towards the end of the year. We are now into the Christmas season, heading into festivities, a season that's supposed to represent, abundance, family, and celebration, especially in America. In America, Christmas is really a big thing. But instead, what we are now witnessing is that millions are going into these holidays with empty fridges, maxed out credit cards, and basically no relief in sight, by the way. And you're listening. If you try to listen carefully to what different people are saying, then you will notice a pattern. There is a pattern you're just about to hear. Different voices, the same problems being talked about. Rising prices, unaffordable housing, but frozen wages. There's no growth when it comes to people's wages. Food banks, people choosing between which bill to pay and which one to spare, which one to wait. It's just horrible. So let's watch some of these more clips of what Americans are saying, and we'll be back with some more commentary.
We will make America affordable again.
I don't want to hear about the affordability.
One of my top priorities will be to quickly defeat inflation and make America affordable again. Affordability is a hoax that was started by Democrats. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. They use the word affordability. It's a Democrat hoax.
Day one affordability. I remember that promise. Right. I guess you didn't deliver on that one. So day one affordability, or it's a Democratic hoax. Which one is it? Because I'm going to be real with you. Nothing is affordable in 2025. Nothing. Now let's talk affordability. Beef prices up. Grocery prices are up. Rent is up. Car insurance is up. Health insurance is up. Home ownership, it's completely out of reach for millions of working Americans. While he's up there changing his story every 5 minutes, the American workers are getting fleeced. The sad reality is parents are going to have to decide, do I get my kid a Christmas present or do I keep the lights on? Do I pay this bill or do I skip on that bill? Nothing is affordable right now, and it's just getting worse. The only thing affordable in America right now is for corporations. Cheap labor, low wages, and politicians will literally kiss their ass so they can rake in record profits while the workers are getting crushed. The American worker has been sold out to Wall Street, to corporate greed, to billionaire donors who don't care if you can afford a gallon of milk. Everything's gone up except wages, and they want us to smile and say thank you. No thank you. So don't talk to me about hoaxes. Talk to me about the cost of groceries. Talk to me about the cost of utilities. Talk to me about the cost of housing. The American worker is tired of being lied to.
This photo is going to haunt Donald Trump and the Republicans in 2026. It's a food bank in small town Kentucky in a deep red district. And the person who uploaded this photo said they've never seen the line so long. They said, "I've always went here when things were bad. This year our family could not afford anything nice for Christmas dinner, so we turned to a local church food bank. I've never seen the line so long. This is 4 times the size of every previous year. We've only been to this one 4 times since 2017, but this year the line wraps around the building a second time to the left behind those rows of cars. Everyone is freezing, and an older lady in the line had to be taken inside because she looked like she was about to pass out from being too cold and shivering." If this is a sign that America isn't doing well, I don't know what is. I'm in a small town in Kentucky with a population of less than 4,800 people. Literally 10% or more of the county is here. This is insane. Notice how you only see these long lines at food banks when Donald Trump is president. This has been an ongoing thing during his second term. Trump and his economic policies and of course his tariffs have made everything more expensive and completely unaffordable. And you're seeing this all over the country. Of course, there will still be people who vote for Republicans, but these folks standing in line, I bet many of them don't.
Christmas is going to be absolutely awful for many Americans, so what exactly can you do to prepare for December? Now, many of you already know why Christmas will be so bad this year. One, because people are clean out of savings. And not only is credit card debt at all-time highs according to the Government Accountability Office, the number of Americans getting denied for loans, which includes mortgage, auto, and credit card, this is creeping up rapidly. And no shock, it's the 18 to 29 and 30 to 39-year-olds that are having the hardest time. The boomers are doing great. Good on them. And layoffs are absolutely rampant. Ford to lay off 1,600 workers. Citigroup is laying off 10% of their 240,000 employees. Could be more. In this article here, shipping giant to lay off 10,000. Not only does the 10,000 people being laid off have an impact on the economy as well, it really signals that demand for these outlets and these stores is dropping quickly. So what can you do as we approach the most expensive time of the year? Side gigs and monetization to the side. I saw this really good idea and I wish I could find the creator again. And she talked about going onto these Facebook community groups. And say, just for an example, you want a bike for a 10-year-old boy for Christmas. Let the community know that because there's likely someone that has one that's just sitting in their garage. And you might be able to get it for free or a really cheap price. Again, you have to post what you need or what you're looking for, otherwise no one's going to know and no one's going to be able to help you. It's just the harsh truth of the matter, but
we're still struggling even when we have our money coming through. We had to suffer going almost a week with no food.
The economy's down the tubes. Healthcare is awful. Prescriptions are terrible. Groceries are off the charts. And I think the only way we're going to do better is if he gets out and somebody else gets in.
Almost December and my house is looking a little sad because it needs more of the holiday spirit. All I have is $8 cash and I am broke and drowning in $32,000 debt and I am unemployed. See what Christmas decor we can find at Dollar Tree. Need to buy another mini Christmas tree as well as some mini ornaments. No, we don't even have a Christmas tree up yet, so let's see what we can find. Well, we can't afford this, but I just wanted to show you guys. These are so cute. I believe these are like $5. Yeah, this is beautiful. They also have some Christmas pillows for $5. Boy, this is so cute. I'm thinking of getting this for $1.50. My son really likes it. Okay, I believe these are also $5, but these are the cutest. Look at the Santa Claus, Oliver. And the snowman. Okay, so I'm gonna get one of these small Christmas trees for $1.50. And I'm gonna get this to add onto that tree. I have so many things for arts and crafts too. Okay, we're gonna grab this too. I don't know if it's a good idea, but maybe get this so we can cover the bottom of that. And I don't think we have enough because that's already $6, so we are probably gonna just get this. Well, we only spent $7.63 on 5 items. I don't have a Christmas tree to put up yet, so we're trying to save up some money to maybe get it next week. But for now, my kids will have a tiny Christmas tree.
This is a too much stupid Christmas edition. This comment is from Enema. Enema said, ooh, butts. Enema commented, I have no money for Christmas. That means you're fortunate because you don't need money for Christmas. It's a religious holiday. You do not need money. You can spend time with loved ones, go visit a relative, just go talk to the neighbor, do a good deed. You're supposed to give You're supposed to give to others on Christmas. You're not supposed to beg. You're supposed to appreciate what you have. Today's life lesson for Enema. Enema wants money for Christmas. Not what Christmas is about. Yeah.
You know, I'm so tired of hearing people say, if you just worked harder and saved your money, you'd be doing better. If you just knew how to manage your money better, you'd be fine. The economy's fine, you just don't know how to manage your money. Like, I've been making the same amount of money since 2022. The same amount of money since 2022. I have not seen a raise since 2022. And yet we are told that we just need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and just, suck it up and keep working. Everything will be fine. The economy's doing great. It's booming. No, it's not. The economy is terrible, okay? Every day, most of Americans have to choose between buying groceries or buying gas, paying the rent or paying their car payment. Do I pay the car payment this week, or do I buy groceries because I can let that go for another week and they won't repo it? Or how long can we keep from paying the power bill before they cut it off? Or how long can we keep from paying the water bill until they cut it off? Or can we rob Peter to pay Paul? Like, that's what every American is doing right now. Nobody has any money, and the people that do have money don't want to pay anybody a livable wage. They think that they're still stuck in 2010 when people thought that $15 an hour was a crazy amount of money. Now, McDonald's associates are making $15 an hour, and it's not enough. If you make $20 an hour in America, okay, you cannot afford to buy a house. Okay, you cannot afford to get an apartment. Okay, you can't afford to do anything on a single income at $20 an hour. You can't survive off that. Okay, there's people that make $35 an hour that are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, the economy is completely cooked. We are at 2008 levels right now. Okay, everybody I know is broke. Everybody I know is struggling, and what do we do? Okay, Trump is not doing anything to help us financially. I have not seen him do a single thing to help us financially. At first, it was this Doge thing. We're going to find all the stolen money through Doge, and we're going to give it back to the people. They just stopped talking about it and kept the money. All these stimulus checks they promised us never happened. Taxes are going up. Rent's going up. Water bills going up. Power bills going up because all these major data factories, these AI factories are sucking up so much electricity, and we're having to subsidize it. So not only are they not paying us enough, they're stealing money from us to help pay for their stuff. What are we going to do? Everybody is drowning, and there's not a life preserver in miles.
Call it the Trump effect. The U.S. economy lost 32,000 private sector jobs in November. This should concern every American. This is largely due to private companies having to cut workers, with small businesses being impacted the most. As many people are worried about the domestic jobs picture, ADP indicated the issues were worse than anticipated. This is a sharp decline from October, where we saw a revised gain of 47,000 positions. And economists were estimating we were about to see a 40,000 job increase this month. The biggest loss came in professional and business services, which saw a decline of 26,000. Others included information services minus 20,000, manufacturing minus 18,000, but I thought the tariffs were supposed to help with that, and financial activities and construction, which both saw losses of 9,000. The rate of pay also slowed, with workers staying in their jobs seeing a 4.4 year-over-year increase, down 0.1 percentage point from October. ADP's chief economist said hiring has been choppy of late as employers weather cautious customers and an uncertain macroeconomic environment. And while November's slowdown was broad-based, it was led by a pullback among small businesses. Economists are also saying Trump's tariffs may play a major role in this steep decline. When predictions are off by over 70,000 jobs, that's a sign something is fundamentally breaking under the surface. Additionally, ADP has confirmed 4 negative months out of the past 6, meaning this wasn't just a one-time blimp, it is a trend under Trump's leadership.
I would love to know how everybody's affording to live. I sent my fiance, because they're still fiancés because weddings are ridiculous, but I sent him out to the store. I asked for garbage bags, I asked for 2 rolls of paper towels, and I asked for 2 vitamin waters. I said, go into my wallet, there's $30, take it, so we don't use the credit card because that's probably at the max. And he gets back, and I'm like, okay, where's the change? He's like, what change? It was $34. I said, $34? What the fuck did you even get? If everyone's saying, oh, well, just use reusable paper towels. Listen, babe, we're not doing that. We tried that method. It doesn't work for this family. The juices spilling and everything else. The main point is that it shouldn't cost $34 for fucking 4 things, okay? I want to know, how are we affording to live? Because I'm 2 seconds away from a mental fucking breakdown.
This last year for me has been absolutely horrible. I am an entrepreneur and I have been extremely just living in actual poverty. And, you know, I've gotten through that. I lost my dog, my puppy, my baby in August. And, you know, after a really expensive surgery. And I was gonna have to leave everything and move home to Harrisburg with my dad, but I just couldn't do it. And the last minute I figured it out and I was able to stay, and I figured it out in September, but the cycles, they keep happening. And, you know, I've been struggling again, and I was banking on a huge deal that I worked so hard on, a big real estate deal that yesterday the girl backed out. We were supposed to close tomorrow, and then yesterday my car battery dies. Mind you, I have $0. I can't afford to eat, literally nothing. I have $0 and my car battery died, but I was able to fix it. But then I come out this morning and I have a boot on my car, and it's the same thing that happened in July. And it's just like God continuously is just kicking me when I'm down, and it's the cycle that just keeps happening. And nobody, like the people in my life, just the person in my life is just horrible. And I just can't do it anymore. And I'm making this video because I literally have nothing left to fucking lose, and I don't have anybody to talk to, and I'm at my wit's end. Like, I don't know how I can keep going. And I just pray that I can look back at this one day and just like I hope I have the strength.
I hate to say it, but I think the U.S. economy is going to get a whole lot worse. See, throughout my entire life, and going back even before then, the U.S. economy has we've spent more money than we've taxed. That's just something America does. Like, that's why we're $37 trillion in debt. And historically, that's not really been a problem, because there's always been a long line of countries that want to buy our debt. It's always been a thing where, like, literally countries line up to buy U.S. dollars because it's been considered a risk-free investment, because the U.S. government has always paid its bills before. But we're $37 trillion in debt now. So that's not looking like such a risk-free investment, which means all these countries that used to line up to buy our debt are no longer doing that. And Venezuela's been selling their oil in yuan instead of US dollars. And if that continues to happen, all these countries that used to buy American debt are gonna start buying other countries' debt. They're gonna start putting their money somewhere else. And that will be the end of the United States as we've known it my entire life. So, buckle.
All right. So what you just watched is not hysteria. You know, it's not laziness, and it's not poor money management. You know, it's lived experience of many millions of Americans, you know, under this current regime of Donald Trump. People saying the same thing over and over. I am making the same money I have been making all along, but suddenly I can't afford anything that I have always been, you know, been able to afford. And let's really talk about the lies. Americans, Donald Trump himself coming to this, you know, this second election promised that jobs would be back, that the government would follow up on stolen monies and return it back to the people. He promised stability, at least economic stability. But what we are now seeing is that none of that is happening. It was propaganda, not policy. And instead, what we are seeing is economic collapse, is economic cannibalism, because small businesses are collapsing, and big businesses, the corporates are threatening to swallow up small businesses, small farmers. Jobs are disappearing, wages are basically frozen for about some years now, and yet people are still being told, just work hard. And by the way, something else to really take note of here is you will find many of these people complaining are white people, and more so people that even elected this government, because the truth is, many white Americans really believed in the myth of meritocracy that says all you need to do in America is just work hard, just work hard. But now they're realizing that it's not about working hard. You cannot work hard or harder in an economy that is actually designed to squeeze you dry. At least many black people always already knew that, meritocracy is a myth in America. It's not just about working hard, it's about systems working for you. And now when the systems are failing for everybody, white people more so are the ones realizing that, it's not just about working hard, because we are talking about people making 20, 30, and $35 an hour, saying that they are living paycheck to paycheck. And that's not personal failure. That's not laziness. Those are hardworking people, but under a system, a systemic collapse, a system that has a glitch. Because if you can earn $30 an hour, you're basically making so much money in comparison to, many countries worldwide, but people cannot afford basic, living at that rate. It tells you that the system has a glitch. People are not the ones that are lazy, and this is why, these videos, these photos, like the one in that's now doing a lot of rounds on the internet from Kentucky matter so much. There was a gentleman that was talking about a town, a red, deep red town in Kentucky of less than 5,000 people, and 10% of the population are standing in line for food in a food bank in freezing weather. That tells you something. People cannot just come and freeze themselves for no reason, And this is not even a blue state problem, a red state problem, It's now beginning to really show in its true colors that it is a problem for all the people across the country if you are working class, if you are a poor person, and this is basically red state America, finally confronting the consequences of policies sold to them as salvation, or thinking that Donald Trump was going to be their economic messiah, savior. And the truth is, Christmas in America has always been about excesses, about color, about lights, full tables, big wallets, big spends. But this year, many families are talking about just survival, just living, one day at a time, and waiting for the next year. And that alone tells you everything you need to know about the state of the economy. Yeah. So when people tell you that the economy is doing well, is strong, because there are people that are still claiming that, Donald Trump is really fixing, ask them one simple question. Why are Americans hungry? If Donald Trump is fixing the economy, why is the economy fixing Americans in lines to get, to ask for food, free food, because you cannot gaslight empty stomachs. That's the truth. And you cannot propaganda your way out of poverty. The reality on the ground, this is basically the reality on the ground for many Americans, working class Americans, and no amount of political spin can actually now hide what is happening. So, this is the truth. And it is about time Americans confront propaganda. It's not about time to talk about Republicans and Democrats, the left and the right. It's about realizing the truth that these politicians are never really all about the interest of the people. It is about themselves, because if you can see that those that are hurting the most are those that voted for this regime, then it tells you that the political class doesn't really care much about the people. Yeah, so that is that for this video. Do share with me your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.